It's so nice. Can you tilt your phone? We can see you.
Tilted where?
Can you change the frame of the phone because it's coming horizontally?
You want it vertically? Okay, but then I will lose my earphones. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. I'm anyway very shabbily dressed, so don't worry. There's no need of the earphones, and as long as we can hear you, it's always good.
Brilliant. You're Rishabh.
That's what people call me. But you can change my name as per what you like.
I like that kind of obedience. Let's go.
But let me formally welcome you. Let me formally welcome you to the show. All right. So for all of you who are watching, this lady out here has been to Cambridge, to Columbia, and to every university that would not take me. I think she has those many degrees that it becomes difficult to put it in her name. You know, you write your name and then you write the degrees after that, so it becomes difficult for her to write all the degrees after her name. But let me assure you that you always want to be on her right side. Even if you believe in the right ideology or the left ideology, it's always good to be on her right side. And she has no relation to this gentleman called Pritish Nundy. But on that note, let me welcome you to a very difficult 30 minutes that you'll have to spend with a lot of lame jokes and probably some insightful conversation from your end to IIMUN officials Kuch to Karuna Nundy.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. I've been in some lectures and I've been on some webinars, and it's all been very, very legal, and which I think because people need to, we all need to learn at this point and have these discussions. But it's such a relief to be doing something that's lighthearted and fun. So I'm very pleased. And what a wonderful view you have. My God.
And then this is actually a painting. This is a painting. This is the painting that changes color. Trust me, I'm serious. See, don't take half of the things that I say seriously. Sometimes I don't even take anything that I say seriously. But my questions are the ones that are not prepared by me. They're prepared by the team, so they're very sensible.
Okay.
They're supposed to be sensible, and if you don't like them, please blame the team. The first question, what according to you is, you've been doing all these legal seminars and so on and so forth. So I want to talk about something positive and light. What according to you is the biggest positive of the pandemic?
The lack of pollution. And the thing is that you Bombay people seem to think it's only a Delhi problem. It's really important to remember that our cities, whether it's Bombay, Delhi, Meerut, are the most polluted cities in the world. If you look at the cities, the list of the most polluted cities in the world, in the top 10, the vast majority are actually India, right? Yeah. So, I mean, to be able to look out of the window and see different kinds of birds, and to see the sky, and to see your painting that changes color, is great. And I think it just showed us possibilities, to be honest, which is that, can we live differently? If we were to concertedly work towards limiting pollution and having, sort of fostering a better environment, spending a bit more time with our family, and can we have better lives? I love the fact that these questions are being asked. I love the fact that we're getting an opportunity to actually try and live something. So I think that is fantastic. Let's keep in mind that it's us privileged few that are able to be that are able to do this, but it's something to be thought of.
No, it's very, very true, and I do completely agree to what you just mentioned, saying that it is important for us to lift the mood and the morale of the country, even if it is just for the privileged few. Because I know so many people who are sitting at home and are very anxious. But But people in Bombay just blame Delhi for a lot of pollution, because I think 21 out of the 30 cities, the most polluted cities in the world, have Delhi in the top 3 consistently. And policies are made in Delhi, not in Bombay. That's the problem. Karuna, this is the problem, that policies are made in Delhi.
No, policies are made everywhere. Policies are made by the state governments and policies are made by the central governments. But also, the thing is, I think what happens with Bombay is that because Bombay compares itself to Delhi, and Delhi is an absolute gas chamber, Bombay misses its own pollution. You shouldn't be comparing yourself to Delhi, you should be comparing yourself to Pondicherry or something. Calcutta, for example, is as bad as Delhi, but people aren't talking enough about it or doing enough about it because it's not Delhi. There isn't that kind of focus. So, frankly, as a country, I think we have to sort ourselves.
And young people are getting anxious sitting at home, and after looking out and looking and admiring nature for a while, there is the anxiety that sets in, because we can only read as much. Of course, I can see the plethora of books that are right behind you, but as you can see, mine just starts to finish. There's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So what is it that we can do sitting at home? What is it that we can do sitting at home to get rid of this anxiety?
Gosh, I mean, there's so much you can do. I firmly believe that this is like, we need to exercise and meditate as part of our life in general. Now, this is not something that I achieve every day at all, right? But I do think that makes us, just as a daily habit, it makes us, look, you try and do it every day, and like if you manage to do meditation, say 3 times a week, or exercise like 4 times a week, I think you'll be really, really well set, because there's a ton of evidence to say that it reduces anxiety, it increases happiness. In terms of reading, everyone says they're reading. Most people are watching Netflix and Amazon. But if you're reading something that's just fun, and like honestly, I do think that if we're going to encourage our reading muscle, we just got to read whatever we feel like reading. At least at the first instance, not self-improving books, because you're not going to do it, So, but there's evidence to show that causes happiness too. I would say that when you're reading and when you're watching, even shows online, to watch stuff, because there's also evidence to say.
Like Karuna.
Evidence, but there's also evidence to show that you experience the thing that you are reading about or that you are watching, right? So you don't. I mean, it's a dystopia in any case. So we look at the sort of lives we're living, right? So do you want to watch another dystopia? I would say keep up with the news. Make sure that you're contributing to those who are less privileged, whatever you can. We have to make sure that we're contributing to from our balconies while we're clapping. And I'm doing clapping and I'm doing the light.
You did it. You did it.
Right?
Did you do it? Did you do it? Okay.
Yes, I did do it, actually. I did do it. And you've seen all the critiques and all that. I still did it. Why did I do it? Because I have a neighborhood that cares about this stuff. And my neighborhood is full of, good middle class people, and they care about, they think that there's solidarity amongst each other. My point is, you absolutely cannot just cater to me and my balconies, and my balcony lamp lighting. You have to cater to the people who need it a hell of a lot more than me. And when, while we're lighting our lamps, you have people walking sort of, on the roads and starving, and infants being yanked up onto trucks, and people dying, and labor laws being lifted. And basically, I think what's happening at the moment, and this is what's terrifying, right, is that I think that there's an expropriation. Like they're basically taking away of other people's health,
right,
and money,
right,
and yeah, basically taking away other people's health and money, so that we can have our health and the money of of certain business owners, not small to medium business owners, but large business owners, can increase.
So not me.
And this is what's huge. And I don't think we should switch off of that. I don't think we should, because we are anxious, switch off from that. And I also think that it takes us out of our own anxiety, right?
Right.
Also, with our own anxiety, we're going to have to live with it. We should do whatever we can for our safety. We should focus on the numbers. you know.
No, you were talking about balconies and us being, privileged and sitting on our balconies and doing A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z. Now I'm feeling very guilty of sitting on my balcony, and therefore I'm going to move. So much.
I was you when you were pretending to be so, but you have like this great view.
You're making me feel guilty about it now, but no, Karuna, what you said is true. We need to be empathetic. We need to be empathetic to our surroundings and to people in and around. And I think it's important to be humanist. And as somebody who has championed multiple such causes, both in courts and outside, let me ask you a slightly not so serious question. Because you are somebody who's been jet setting across the world and across the country whenever, I'm sure when it wasn't lockdown, you were in 2 cities on one day. But now that it's lockdown, has there been a difference in your day-to-day life? Like for me, for example, I make my bed on my own. So has there been a difference in your life?
Oh, I see what you're saying. So look, I actually have a ton of work at the moment. So we have a few fresh petitions. We've done some work for the Bhopal victims because they actually have a much higher incidence of COVID, right? So
Right.
the first you have the same set of people that have more and more problems because the companies have been just so violently neglectful, and and also the governments. So the first 14 people who died in Bhopal of COVID were Bhopal victims, right? I think there was one who wasn't. The rest were all Bhopal.
Right.
So we had a petition regarding that. Then we have a few other urgent petitions. We also have 2 big petitions for a fintech, a large fintech entity. So we've been working really hard, and we've been working, right? And so that's pretty, like, that's okay. That's actually pretty standard. Now, I think that I don't get to hang out with my team and, make as many jokes, but we do, but we're working, right?
I must
also do some housework, and I've been doing pocha. I've been doing pocha. And it's fine for the first couple of days, and then it gets very, very boring, So happily, I have someone who lives with us and has taken over many of those duties, but there are lots of things that I have to do, so that's in addition, right? And also there are vulnerable family members, and you're not there yet, but I'm in that middle generation where we have to take care of old people and children, So in this sort of lockdown situation, it means that the responsibilities are large.
large, and they're only increasing. But it's so nice.
It's not fun time, so make it fun.
But no, it's so nice to see you smile. It's so nice to see you smile and laugh. On all these studio debates, when I see you, and even when I've heard a few from my friends, and that Karuna Nundy is one of the most serious and one of the best lawyers, of course, but one of the most serious people in the country. Are you sure you're going to do a show which is a light-hearted show, which is going to infuse positivity? And I was frightened because as much as you infuse positivity, you rarely smile. So I'm glad that you're smiling. And I think because you're smiling, I'm feeling much better and much happier because I was very worried. Lots of senior people have come on the show, but I was very worried when they said Karuna Nundy is coming on the show. I said, I really am fond of her. But will she smile? No, but Karuna, let me ask you. The second part of what we do is called Tumbi Karuna. Okay, so you said you watch Netflix, or rather, we watch Netflix. Is there a moment in your life where you're not reading all those gazillion books that are kept behind you, and you're watching and binging on some Netflix recommendations that you could give?
Yes, so I am watching Good Fight, and I often avoid legal shows because it's a bit like going to work. But this is quite fun actually, and I like because they're dealing the bit I'm at. Without putting up too much of a spoiler, is they're dealing with Trump impeachment. So that's quite fun. I tried Anne with an E, and honestly, I got very bored. Because I mean, it's sweet and all. I was watching Game of Thrones. It got too dark, so I stopped.
And how about Friends?
So I think mainly it's The Good Fight. I watched Grey's Anatomy. My family is full of surgeons. My family is full of surgeons, and that's the road not traveled for me, right? So I watched Grey's Anatomy, and I quite enjoyed that.
So is it Meredith Grey or is it Derek Shepherd? Who's the favorite character? Now that Derek is gone, is it Meredith?
No, I'm not even that far yet. So I'm just talking that. I've got the whole run.
Listen, you cannot.
I like that they're all parts, and I like that it's ensemble cast, right?
No, but I was just afraid because you said, why did you spoil it for me? But I was going to specify that you cannot sue, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you cannot sue a minor in the court of law for saying something something that is inappropriate. Is that correct?
You're not under 18, right?
Now, I'd leave that to you to make a better judgment of. No, I'm not.
18? My God.
No, I'm not. I'm
on Instagram because you don't have the power to contact, right? So I mean, of course, people are okay. Somebody saying no spoilers. No spoilers. Deal Rishabh, no spoilers.
No.
He's 60. Are you seriously 60?
He's 45. I'm not 45 and I'm not 50. Now people are. I'm 28. I'm way past 18. But
I feel like he's young for 50 though. Don't you think?
I'm sorry, I lost you there.
I feel like you look young for 50.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll take that compliment in my stride and move on to the next question, which is
16. 16. Okay. Okay. Right.
Then, can you? So can you recommend something for all of us to read? You are a voracious reader, I am sure. Can you recommend something for people between 13 to 24 to read? This is the age bracket that usually watches the show and can put up with my lame comedy. So a book to read.
Read To Kill a Mockingbird. I love that book. It's a really easy read and it's inspiring, and it's about a hero lawyer.
Right.
It's not problematic, right? It's not unproblematic, but it's still a fun read. You should read it. You can. I would say it's more for the older age range, not for the 13-year-old. Although, listen, I tried War and Peace when I was 14, and so I think that anyone should pick up any book and see whether they connect with it or not. I mean, I don't think you should buy yourself something. The Annihilation of Caste,
Right.
is fantastic. If you have the opportunity, it's by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. And
Right.
it's amazing to read a book. And so I feel like if you have the opportunity to get that early and shapes your worldview, which is lucky, rather than someone. You could also read Himayana, which is it's a graphic novel, and it's about Dr. Ambedkar's life, and that's a really easy. That's 13-year-old as well.
How nice! I think you've given me more books than I can read in 365 days. Tell me, I must ask you whilst you are here that you are somebody who greatly inspires for what you believe India stands for. If I may ask you this question, slightly outside that of the pandemic, what according to Karuna Nundy is her idea of India? What is your idea of India?
I love this country. I love this country so much. My idea of India is one which is just get rid of the phone. My idea of India is one that is full of different colors and shades and stronger because of it and richer because of it, right? And I feel like we all come from all of this because, I had a very special event that happened in my life, and I go to the Nizamuddin Dargah here very often.
Right.
And it's a really, really special place to me. I also go to Haji Ali when I am in
Bombay.
Bombay. I love Haji Ali, you know.
Oh,
And I feel that like this is as much a part of us as the religion that I was born into, as Hinduism, you know. Like my mother wasn't a puja doer, and she was a bit, so she sort of raised an eyebrow when I started doing Diwali pujas in the office. You know? But I do I like the ritual. I actually really enjoy the ritual, you know. And when I meditate, I say the Gayatri mantra 3 times before I start. I just feel like we are all made up of all these different streams and all these different strands. And it just pains me so much to see the kind of supremacies that are rising, and the kind of Hindutva, and with the Hindutva, the toxic masculinity, and with the toxic masculinity, the casteism. And honestly, this is all rubbish, and this should all go. Because we have a very beautiful country, and we just have a really amazing cultures, and you know, to sort of box ourselves into silos and to prevent them from flowing into each other it's nuts. It's just stupid.
you know, there is a lot of phobias in our country. Islamophobia, homophobia, transgenderphobia.
Transphobia. Yeah.
Transphobia, right. So, as somebody who advocates rights of people, do you think your idea of India also encompasses the fact that everyone must and should be treated in an egalitarian worldview, like with an egalitarian worldview, that everyone is equal and there is nobody who's different? This is the intelligent question that I prepared and kept. So please.
No, I don't think people should be treated equally. I mean, what did you think my answer was going to be? Look, of course people should be treated equally. Of course people should be treated equally. But also, I think we really have to keep in mind, right, that people have to be treated equally with all the differences that they have. Right? Our law provides for that. You know? So, therefore, I find a lot of people saying that, look, okay, for example, that on the Supreme Court, women should get there on merit, right? That there should be no special provision, like whether it's Parliament, that women should get there on merit. There should be no special provision whether it's Dalits, and we see this most often with Dalit reservation, right? That it should all be on merit. Now the thing is that, you know, frankly, Rishabh, that argument is complete rubbish. Okay, it's just a stupid argument, because basically what we have at the moment is we have reservation for very few people. We have reservation for Hindu, upper caste, able-bodied, straight men. Right. You know? So we're losing out on the talent and the brilliance of everybody else. You know? Think about it that way. So there's a whole large pool in this country that is brilliant, that is not being recruited because of their identity. I mean, we are really losing out on that pool of talent. So it's nuts, and that can't happen. So I think we have to make sure that everyone is addressed depending on where they're at, right? Yeah.
No, so this is exactly what I wanted you to elucidate on, because, you know, quite honestly, this is the only question that I thought would make me look smart. So now moving forward to a quick... So moving forward to a quick rapid fire with you. You know, I would want you to answer honestly the first word that comes to mind when I say the following words. The first thing that comes to your mind when I say the following words.
Do I get a hamper?
Of course you do. It's another show, just like a popular show on Star World. The only difference is that nobody sponsors this show. That's why you get a hamper, and that hamper can only be delivered right now. So if you can get us a courier service right now to deliver you, we can deliver it.
Right. Okay. So it was 16, so I'll let it go. Carry on.
The first question, I'll ignore the last statement, and the first question is, the first word that comes to your mind when I say coronavirus.
COVID-19.
Law. When somebody says law to you.
Right.
Food.
Ghee. I've eaten a lot of ghee.
But you can afford to eat all the ghee. For people like us, we can't. Now, the next thing which I want to ask you is this is a very interesting one. When somebody says the Bharatiya Janata Party,
saffron.
Saffron. It's very
I'm not going to give you my fourth word. It's too obvious. I'll give you like, I'll pick out of the first 4 or 5 words, okay? Rich, supremacist.
Okay, next one, India. When somebody says India.
Beauty, love, colors.
Fun. When somebody says fun, what comes to mind? And you could even say
Dancing.
sorry?
Dancing.
Dancing. All right. So may I ask? So you dance often? Like you've trained classically?
Oh,
No.
no, I've danced all my life. So when I was a little kid, my mother used to say that I used to dance in and out of doorways, that I didn't walk, you know. And so we did, and I went to the Gujarat Education Society school called Sardar Patel
All right.
Vidyalaya. And we did Garba and Dandiya every single year.
Really?
And then I trained, in Cambridge I trained a bit in contemporary dance. And also did some performance art, and then considered doing it professionally. But initially I needed some support for startup funding. And my family basically said, are you going to be a dancing lawyer or a lawyering dancer? So that's
But these days you dance in the courtroom on the heads of the opposition lawyers. So that's something all of us know about you. But moving to the next thing, if somebody said positivity, what is the one thing that comes to mind when someone says positivity?
Joy, inspiration, practice.
You could say Rishabh also. It's not a crime.
Maybe next time. Maybe after I get the hamper.
Okay, human rights. When somebody says human rights, what comes to mind?
Basic, inalienable, fundamental, most important.
Constitution.
Love, bizarrely, because that's actually where my work comes from. It comes from a place of love.
A place of love.
Yeah.
I would ask that question to anybody who was in the opposition benches, saying, how much of love did you feel when you were fighting Karuna Nundy? The question is, where did it go? How do you explain the importance of legal rights to somebody who is 13 years old? What's the importance of legal rights to somebody who's 13 years old? And you could change legal and change
what law is?
Okay,
so what law is law is about power. It's about how you relate to your family, actually, how you relate to people outside, how big companies, and how you relate to government. And at the moment, of course, your main interaction is with your family and with your school, right? But think of, and hopefully everything's going well, but think about when it's not going well for some people, like The Winslow Boy. It's a great film, right? Where this kid was wrongly accused of actually a crime, and to live under that shadow, I mean, that's where law comes in, natural justice, due process, like that you must be heard. There are also children who are being abused in their homes, that's where the law comes in. There are children who are starving, that's where the law comes in. Also, let's remember that under the Child Rights Convention, you have the right as a teenager, as you too, Rishabh, though I don't think you lack a voice, but to participate. And I love shows like this, right? Like, because it means that, like, and next time, if there is a next time on this show, another show with young people, ask more questions, and let's make sure that the video is there so we can have a chat, like one-on-one, right? Because I feel like, particularly in India, where there's so much age hierarchy and there's so much seeing and not hearing of children, like, it's really important to, for teenagers and even for little children, actually, for under 18s across the board, to make yourselves heard. Because you know what? You're going to be stuck with this, polluted climate. sensitive world when the rest of us are gone. So your voice is incredibly important.
No, I think that's the best note to end this on. So that we need to improve the climate in our country in very many a way, and I think it is up to young people in order to improve that, with of course the support of people such as you. So we are counting on you, Karuna, that the next time a 16-year-old calls you, calls you, that you that you come and you inspire people like you've always been doing. You are a great role model and an icon for young people. Thank you for doing what you do, and thank you for being a part of IIMUN Official's Kuch To Karuna. And you're fighting our kids.
Thank you.
Remember.
And thank you all. And thank you all for engaging and watching. And Jai Hind. See you soon.